just wanted to come out and check out my firewood situation, and it didn't matter what I did. The way the wind blew yesterday and the rain came down, everything got wet. So anyway, what I promised to do is to put out a video today, because yesterday was the 2-year anniversary of me having a heart attack. And so what I wanted to do is share with you why I believe that heart attack came about, what I did, how I lived my life, and what not to do from now on. So hopefully you can learn something from this, and I'm not wasting my time sharing it with you. Well, good morning. It's a little bit chilly out here. We got our first little snowfall in 2 years. It's a tiny one, but it's welcomed. So here we are. It is December 11th, 2023. And yesterday it poured down rain, and I like doing my videos outside. So I decided to wait till today. It's fairly early in the morning. And I've got this to cut up behind me and get split and stacked. So 2 years ago, I had a heart attack. And I have spent the last year and 11 months trying to figure out why I had that heart attack, what caused it, and hopefully gather enough information that, I'm changing gloves, these aren't really that warm. Hopefully gather enough information to help you and to keep me alive for my grandkids. So, I mean, my oldest granddaughter just went through chemo treatments. She had osteosarcoma, I think it's called, or she had cancer in her leg at 11 years old, and just finished all her treatments. If I would have died 2 years ago, I wouldn't have been here to help her. I wouldn't have been here to help my daughter and my son-in-law. I just call him a son. I wouldn't have been able to be here to help them with their other grandchildren and stuff like that. So I'm glad I was here for all that, to help them. And I hope I'm helping you who are watching this. And so what I'm going to ask right now is just please, right now, give this thing a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel. Comment on this video. Share it, because this could save someone's life. So here comes the sun. So I'll try to keep this fairly brief. 2 years ago, I had a heart attack. I had two 100%, they call it occluded, I'll call it clogged arteries. Two 100% clogged arteries. One on the right side of my heart and one on the left side of my heart. And the one on my left side is called the LAD, aka the Widowmaker. 100% calcified, basically inside of my artery, turned to solid bone. There was no getting through that. Thank God the one on my right side was able to be opened up, and they put a stent in with a catheter. And so I'm still here today. After a year after having my heart attack, a little bit more than a year, I had singular bypass, laparoscopic singular bypass surgery on the LAD, where they pulled out some arteries from my pec muscle in my chest and moved it around and bypassed the blockage to get the blood flowing back into my heart, to rebuild my heart and make it stronger, which it did. It was successful. But let me just inject this right now. Just because I was saved in this, and I had I was healed from it doesn't mean everyone is. I have friends that I went to high school with. I have friends who I went to church with who did not make it through this, who did not make it, who passed away in their early 50s. It shouldn't be. So here's a quick rundown of what happened. I believe this is my scenario. All through my late teens, 20s, early 30s, I drank excessive amounts of alcohol. I smoked cigarettes. I think I smoked cigarettes for 20 years, and a lot of beer. That's who I was. I was born again at the age of 35. I had quit smoking by the grace of God and the prayers of my wife and children. I quit smoking a couple of years earlier than that, but then quit drinking excessive amounts at the age of 35 when I was born again. So do I drink alcohol now? I do. But I'm probably going to stop that altogether because of the way the research that's coming out, finding out that how much damage it does to your brain. It's not worth it. So as much as I love a good glass of red wine, I love it. I love a good IPA. I won't drink in excess, but I'm probably going to quit altogether. Alcohol causes your arteries to become brittle. The inner wall, it destroys there's a lining inside of the lining that I think it's called endothelium, and then the other one, the actual wall, inner wall of your artery is an endocardy something or whatever. I don't know. I don't know the word, but there's an inner lining. And we'll picture that as a garden hose. You have a garden hose, you have an inner lining of rubber, you got a spongy material, and then an outer layer. And that's basically how your artery is made, your coronary arteries. And so that inner layer, it becomes brittle and it cracks. Alcohol does that to you. Smoking does that to you. But I had quit excessive drinking for years before my heart attack, and I quit smoking again a long time, 20 years before I had the heart attack. What I did is I opened a restaurant, and with that restaurant came an outrageous amount of stress because I dumped a boatload of money into it, and it continued to lose money for the first 7 years. The restaurant always lost money, and I emptied a nest egg that my father had given to me when he passed away back in 2012. I emptied that into this restaurant. All of that put a lot of stress on me. A lot of stress. There was the employees, the majority of the employees. I had a handful of really good ones that I'm thankful for, but I had the majority of them, about 100 employees in 7 years, that just didn't show up for work, did a lousy, just not up to par job, and the whole time they thought I was making a whole bunch of money, and I wasn't. I was paying their salary out of my savings account, and they didn't know that, and they didn't care. So, but it produced a lot of stress. I was constantly in a stressful, anxious state, and what that does is it causes your body to produce adrenaline and cortisol. And when your body is constantly producing cortisol and adrenaline, it causes your arteries to constrict, and if that continues, it also causes your arteries to become brittle. So what happens is your arteries become brittle. And listen, I'm not a doctor, so don't take this as medical advice. This is my research that I found on Google and YouTube, okay? Listening to other doctors such as Dr. Mark Hyman, great guy to listen to. But in all that, with all that stress, I also had a very poor diet. I'm a barbecue caterer now. I had a barbecue restaurant. The barbecue is not the problem. The barbecue is not the problem. The problem was all of the bread, the cornbread, the rolls, the mac and cheese. I ate excessive amounts of mac and cheese. My carb intake on a daily basis probably approached 400 to 500 grams of carbs, and the majority of that was what we call simple carbohydrates, where they run right through you and they cause your blood sugar to shoot up. And when your blood sugar shoots up, your body produces insulin. And when your body produces massive amounts of insulin on a regular basis, it becomes what they call insulin resistant. Welcome to diabetes. I don't have diabetes, praise God. By the grace of God, I didn't get diabetes, but I was pre-diabetic, as is the majority of the United States of America. Should have brought my bottle of water. I'll be right back. And we're back. Okay, so water. Where was I? Massive amounts of carbohydrates. My body became insulin resistant. When all that happens, there's a lot of inflammation that also happens inside of your body. Not only your joints, but your blood becomes inflamed. Your liver becomes it gets what they call fatty liver disease. You can never touch a drop of alcohol and still get liver disease. You get it from incredible amounts of glucose in your system. I'm not a doctor. This is just what I believe. This is what I believe happened to me. So when your arteries become brittle and they crack and your blood is inflamed and your liver is having trouble getting rid of what they call bad cholesterol, your body also, if you don't have the right amount of vitamin D and K2, the calcium that's running through your blood doesn't go to your bones. Welcome to osteoporosis for a lot of people, because they're not getting sufficient amounts of vitamin D and K2 together, vitamin D3 and K2. You can research that as well. I'm sure Dr. Hyman has something to say about that. But what happens is your LDL cholesterol shrinks. When your LDL cholesterol shrinks, it becomes an unhealthy size, it becomes dangerous. Healthy LDL size, the large fluffy LDL, is not dangerous, it is a must. Your body needs it, your brain needs it. Without healthy amounts, healthy fats, healthy lipids, all that stuff, you can do your own research. Without all that and healthy fats and things like that, your brain starves. So the small, damaged, oxidized LDL cholesterol and the calcium, they get into the cracks in your arterial wall, the inner arterial wall, and they fill up that spongy area in the middle, and your artery closes down. In the meantime, what's happening inside of that spongy area, it becomes rock hard, harder and harder, and it closes down and closes down until finally it's completely shut and you have a heart attack. Or a part of it breaks off, and they call it a blood clot. That clot breaks off and goes into your heart. You have a heart attack. If it happens in a different area, like your carotid arteries, that thing breaks off, because you can get complete blockages in your carotid arteries as well. And they go up to your brain, and you have a stroke, and you lose function you're having a stroke. Sometimes the strokes can kill you. Sometimes the heart attacks kill you. We've got we're very blessed in this time to have a lot of surgeons and procedures that can save you. Very blessed. My opinion, this is my opinion, it's all my opinion, but this is really my opinion. The big PHARM corporations want you on a cholesterol med. That medication lowers the amount of LDL cholesterol. That's not what we need. This is my opinion. It is not what we need. We don't need lower LDL cholesterol. We need lower damaged small LDL cholesterol. And there's a way to get around that. There's a way to make your cholesterol healthy. All of your lipids, all that's technical terms, all that stuff, your fatty acids and all that stuff. There's a way to make it healthy. And so it does its job, and it keeps your brain functioning, keeps your arteries healthy and stuff like that. And here's what I found, so I don't bore you to death with all these details. Eat a healthy diet. Cut out simple carbohydrates and things that are high on the glycemic index. Anything that is high on the glycemic index turns to sugar in your system. Do I eat fruit? Yes, I do eat fruits. Do I eat wheat? Yes. Do I eat bread? No. I don't eat bread, pizza, donuts, pastries, pies, milk chocolate, things like that, because they're all high on the glycemic index. They are worse for you than just straight sugar. Flour, white bleached processed flour, is extremely high on the glycemic index. Therefore, it turns to sugar in your blood faster than sugar. Worse than sugar. Isn't that neat? So, I eat whole foods. I eat healthy fats. In my weekly diet, I have sardines, wild caught, packed in extra virgin olive oil sardines. I have 2 to 3 cans of those a week, with a big healthy salad, a massive salad with an entire clove of garlic and hopefully some spring onions diced up in there, raw, both raw. That does amazing wonders for your arteries and clearing things out and keeping your blood healthy. I use about 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, good extra virgin olive oil, real extra virgin olive oil, not the trash that you find in the middle of the shelf. Do your research. They tamper with all that stuff. If you think canola oil is good for you, you have been lied to and deceived. Canola oil is good for you until the companies get a hold of it and bleach it and destroy it with high heat. They turn all the omega-3 fatty acids into omega-6 fatty acids, and your diet is already too high in omega-6 fatty acids. You want more omega-3s. So with my diet, I consume probably 5 avocados a week. I also consume 2, sometimes 3, 5.5, 6 ounce portions of Alaskan wild caught sockeye salmon that I cook in olive oil on a medium low heat, or over a fire. Most of the time it's in the frying pan, medium low heat with the extra virgin olive oil. I eat quinoa. Quinoa is a bitter, not fun thing to eat most of the time, but if you get a good organic quinoa, Kirkland makes a good one, get it at Costco, that is going to be bitter, but if you use a good chicken broth, chicken bone broth, and have the right amount of spices and seasonings in there, it can be really good. These are some of the things I eat. I eat a lot of broccoli. I love to stir fry broccoli in extra virgin olive oil and dice up a couple cloves of garlic and put it in there. You want to talk about a healthy fantastic tasting meal. Yeah, it's going to stink up your house, but it is worth it. These are the kind of things I eat. But Rob, what about the barbecue? Yes, I eat my barbecue. I eat my pulled pork. I eat my brisket, but I just don't eat massive amounts of it, because unless you can get grass-fed, grass-finished, 100% grass-fed meat, you're going to have a grain-fed meat, and it's going to be high in omega-6s. And that's, you don't want a lot of omega-6s. You want a decent ratio between your omega-3s and omega-6s. You can do all the research. You can find this stuff out. So I cook brisket for a living. And when I do, I cut off a slice for myself. I don't eat a lot, a couple ounces a week. Pulled pork, a couple ounces a week. I mostly eat chicken and fish. And that, that chicken I eat is typically an organic chicken breast. I love to smoke them. I smoke up a full chicken breast, and I like to cool it down and slice it up thin slices and eat it cold. A little bit of good mayonnaise that has avocado oil in the mayonnaise. These are just all things that you can do to have a well-balanced, awesome diet, the right amount of protein, the right amount of carbohydrates. I was doing less than 100 grams of carbohydrates a day. Now I am cutting firewood, splitting firewood, and so I'm probably hitting somewhere around with the fiber that I eat, which knocks off the carbohydrates, brings your net carbs to grams down. I'm probably consuming on an average 150 to 175 grams of carbohydrates a day. Could be more. I don't care. I'm burning it up, burning it off, and they are complex carbohydrates, which is good for you. You just don't want to overdo it. Same with the fats. You don't want to overdo the fats, but a can of sardines and an avocado a day, you've got just a wonderful amount of healthy, good fats, good for you fats. Especially if you throw in a piece of, like I did last night, grass-fed, took a grass-fed steak and sliced that thing up and put it in made some vegetable beef soup. All organic, all good for you. Just, good stuff. If you're eating whole foods, you're eating, good organic fruits. You got to be real careful with some of that. A lot of stuff out there on the fruits. You got the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15 and all that stuff. Pay attention to it. They spray our foods. You wonder why the cancer rate has grown, just multiplied so hugely. Take a look at the amount of pesticides and things like that people are spraying the foods with. Can't make money if the bugs eat your fruits and vegetables, so they spray them with things that cause cancer. There's a lot of things that cause cancer, and those things are growing, and the big corporations, they don't care. They're just making more and more money. They don't care. So that's where we are with that. But a good balanced diet, complex carbohydrates. I do have some starchy carbs. I will eat red skin potatoes, sweet potatoes. There's some starchy carbs that I consume. But I stay away from the sugar and high fructose corn syrup. If you drink a soda, I feel sorry for you. Even once in a while. Sorry. No. Ice cream, I love it. No, won't consume ice cream anymore. Not even a spoon. I eat dark chocolate, 90% to 95% dark chocolate. And I eat a couple raisins with it. It's fantastic. And the raisins even have, what's that stuff called? Can't remember. There's an enzyme, or there's an enzyme, something that's in grapes that is really good for you. It's good for your heart. Red wine has it, but again, I'm probably going to stop that. I'm really cutting back on it. Let's put it that way, a lot, because I don't want my brain to go fried after I've done so much to keep my body in shape. So now, on top of all that, one of the best things you can do is take a walk. take a walk, go out. If you have time, if you're able, go take a brisk walk for a couple miles 3 times a week. If you can do that, take a 35 to 45 minute walk, fast paced, 3 times a week. You will take your insulin resistance number down into the single digits. You will destroy diabetes. Can't happen to you if you are eating properly, not consuming a bunch of sugar and things that turn into glucose in your body at high amounts. You can completely reverse type 2 diabetes. I'm not a doctor, but you can completely reverse type 2 diabetes if you make the choice to. All of this is a choice. So here I am 2 years after the fact of having a heart attack. I owe University of Maryland just under $60,000 for the bypass surgery that my Medishare refuses to pay for. We're still fighting on that one. And I had a lot of other doctor bills. This heart attack has cost me a lot of money. So you say, Rob, I can't afford to eat organic, and I can't afford to eat those foods that are good for you. You can't afford not to. I have a garden. All summer long, I grow my own stuff. I grow my own vegetables, and I love them. A lot of squash, eat a lot of squash. Onions, squash. I'm gonna grow garlic one of these days. But there are things that you can do to turn things around. Lastly, your cardiologist wants to look at your cholesterol. He wants to see what your cholesterol numbers are. Watch Dr. Mark Hyman, Dr. Sten Ekberg, Eric Berg, Ford Brewer, these doctors, there's plenty of other ones. And they will show you, they will explain to you what is really up with the whole cholesterol thing and the healthy fats and how extra virgin olive oil helps, and olives and garlic and onions and all that stuff, how good that stuff is for your heart. I'm not a keto advocate. They are. I'm not. But you can do it if you want to. But if you you take the time to do these things, kind of lost track of where I was going there. It came back. The cholesterol is not the problem as much as the calcification is the problem. So the main thing you want to do, if I had it all to do over and I knew any better about this stuff, the main thing I would do is I would go straight in and say, give me a calcium score. I want to know what my calcium score is, because a calcium score will tell you if you have calcification in your arteries. And that is what causes all the problems. So you want to check your insulin resistance number. You want your body to be insulin sensitive. You want a number 40 or below. What you really want is in the single digits. The last time I had mine checked, it was at a number 7. Last year it was at number 4. I don't know what it is right now. It's probably a little higher because I'm not doing a lot of walking. I'm doing this. But I can tell you where it's not. It's not in the 60s and 70s where it was when they put me on that cholesterol medication before I got off of it. Because that medication will skyrocket your insulin resistance number. It will skyrocket your blood glucose. It will can definitely cause type 2 diabetes, puts pain through your body, starves your brain. You walk around in a state of duh. A good healthy diet, decent exercise, some cardio workout, things like that, you can reverse. Hear me on this. I'm not a doctor. This is what the research I've done has proven. Watch Dr. Ford Brewer. A good diet with healthy fats and walking, exercise, just walking fast, a couple times a week, you can reverse cardiovascular disease. You can reverse atherosclerosis. You can reverse type 2 diabetes. That's not me talking. That is what I've found researching on YouTube and Google. And why do I believe it? Because I tested this stuff out on myself. When I was on the cholesterol med, my blood glucose number was, I think, in the 130s. My insulin resistance number went up to 65, I think it was. I had inflammation through my body. I was in pain. And my LDL cholesterol number went down to the number of 70. But then I started eating healthy fats and shot it back up over 100. But the test on the LDL cholesterol, the size of it, the buoyancy of it, I was what they call lipoprotein A. That's where I am, lipoprotein A. And that's where you want to be. People who are lipoprotein A, according to the research that I've done, have a minimal percentage of possibility of having heart disease. So this is what I have come to find. When I had the heart attack, I weighed 193 pounds. I have weighed consistently for about a year 167 pounds. My body fat percentage runs, according to my funky scale that I bought, my body fat percentage in the summertime while I'm walking runs about 19%, and right now it's running about 20.5% because I'm not walking. I'm cutting firewood. So my body fat is down, even though I'm eating a lot of fats. Figure that one out. Even though I'm eating a lot of healthy fats, I'm not eating Texas Roadhouse fats. Not to put them down, but they're using grain-fed beef. They're not using grass-fed beef. But as far as I know, I'm healthy. When I had the heart attack, they have a score that they take, a percentage that they take, an EF, I think it's called ejection fraction percentage that they take. Someone who is my age, a healthy ejection fraction should be around 55%. After having a heart attack, mine would drop down into the 30s, 33, 35%, which meant my heart was working extra hard to pump blood to where it needs it. After the bypass surgery, and getting back onto my routine, my ejection fraction is at 55%. So I don't know if it's gotten any better, but I do know this: I can come out here and swing an axe and run my heart rate up into the 160s, which they say I'm not supposed to, but I have to check myself. I have to watch. I wear an Apple Watch and watch my beats per minute. And I have to watch myself because I don't even know that my heart rate's up that high. I'm not getting winded. I feel absolutely fine. But I'll look down and I'm running 168 beats a minute or 158, whatever. And it's okay to do that once in a while, but they say I'm not supposed to do that. But As I'm working with the firewood, my heart rate is going 120s to 130s, 140s. And so to me, this is a cardiovascular workout. And it's good for me. It's working my muscles, it's working my whole body. It's so much better than sitting in a chair and eating donuts and apple pie like I used to. Anyway, thank you so much for letting me just share. Please ask questions. Please ask questions in the comment section. Share this video, like it, subscribe to the channel. Let's get this word out to America, who is overweight. The majority of Americans are overweight. They are in poor metabolic health. They're stuck on cholesterol meds. Once you get to be in the 50s or older, they pump you full of cholesterol meds. All that stuff. Share this, because I'm going to be sharing more and more of these videos. And you can go back into my history and listen, you can see what I look like a couple weeks after my heart attack, or I'm sorry, a couple weeks after the bypass surgery, or I'm walking down where I just walked to start this video. As I'm walking down through there, you can see on my face that my body went through a lot of trauma going through that stuff. But now I'm good. I'm good by the grace of God, by the grace of God Almighty, by thousands of people praying for me, and by good exercise and good diet, I'm doing well. And I hope, it's my prayer, my hope, that you will do the same. Please like, share, comment. Thank you, God bless, and we'll see you the next time.